Hello, kids. Have you ever prayed for something and felt like Allah didn't answer? Wait! Don't skip. This story on Gentle Dreams Story Hub will show you why Allah delays and what beautiful surprise He gives instead. When the sun dipped behind the sand-colored hills of the little village, the call to Maghrib echoed beautifully through the quiet evening air. A young boy named Yusuf walked slowly along the narrow path leading to his home, his hands dusty from the garden soil, his clothes carrying the scent of fresh earth. He was only 12, but he carried in his heart more responsibility than most children his age. His father had passed away 2 years earlier, leaving behind his mother, his younger sister, and a small garden where they grew vegetables to sell in the market. Yusuf missed his father with every sunrise, and often he stayed awake at night, remembering the stories his father used to tell him about patience, trust in Allah, and being grateful even in difficulty. Yusuf tried to be strong, but sometimes even strong hearts tremble. One afternoon, the summer heat was intense. Yusuf's mother called him gently as he rested under the shade of palm tree. Yusuf, the plants look tired. They need more water. Allah sends heat and Allah sends ease. So we just do what we can. Yusuf nodded, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and walked toward the well. But when he lowered the bucket, there was only mud at the bottom. The water had dried. Yusuf's hands shook. Mother, the well, it's empty. His mother walked to the edge of the well and looked inside. She took a deep breath, and instead of fear appearing in her eyes, there was calmness. Allah gives and Allah withholds, she said peacefully. But how will we water the garden? Yusuf asked. We will try to bring water from the river, she said. And we will ask Allah to send rain. He never forgets his servants. That night, Yusuf could not sleep. He sat outside and stared at the stars, feeling small beneath them. He whispered, Ya Allah, please don't take our garden too. We already lost Father. The next morning, Yusuf woke up before Fajr and walked with his mother and sister toward the river. The water was low, but still flowing. They filled pots and carried them home. It took hours, and Yusuf's back ached, but the plants slowly received their share of water. Days passed, and the heat grew stronger. People in the village began to worry. Trees started losing leaves, crops dried up, and everyone feared the coming months. One afternoon, Yusuf saw a wealthy man riding on a horse near their garden. The man stopped when he noticed the garden still green. How are your plants still alive? He asked, surprised. Yusuf said simply, We bring water every day, and we ask Allah to keep them alive. The man smirked. Watering plants won't save them from the sun. They will die eventually. Yusuf felt a small sting of doubt in his heart, but he remembered his father's words. Doubt is a test, and patience is the answer. That night, Yusuf prayed with tears in his eyes. Allah, I am trying. Please don't leave us alone. One morning, clouds appeared, dark and heavy. Yusuf ran outside, eyes wide with hope. The first raindrop touched his cheek, then another. Soon, rain began falling beautifully, covering the land in mercy. Yusuf laughed and cried at the same time. His mother raised her hands in dua, thanking Allah for his kindness. But the rain didn't stop quickly. It continued for days, flooding some areas. The wealthy man returned, this time looking frightened. My crops, they drowned, he said. All gone. Yusuf's garden, built on slightly higher ground, survived. The man stared at it in disbelief. How is this possible? Yusuf said softly. Sometimes what destroys others becomes mercy for someone who trusts Allah. The wealthy man lowered his head. I was unkind to you, and yet Allah protected you. Why? Yusuf's mother answered, because Allah looks at hearts. He tests each soul differently, sometimes by giving, sometimes by taking. Weeks passed and the village returned to normal. The wealthy man came again, but this time humble. Yusuf, he said, teach me how to plant, but more importantly, teach me patience. Yusuf smiled gently. Patience is not something I can teach. It is something Allah teaches when you need it. Years went by, and Yusuf grew taller, wiser, and kinder. The garden flourished because every plant was watered not just by hands, but by dua. And Yusuf learned something deeper than words, that sometimes Allah delays things only to give them when the heart is ready. And sometimes Allah protects you in ways you don't notice until later. And sometimes patience is the door through which Allah sends miracles. For never does Allah forget a heart that remembers Him. So, kids' moral of the story: patience with difficulty brings unexpected blessings. Allah never abandons a believer who puts trust in Him.